Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Cie, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to be talking about Bernd's creative and very cool collection. I think you're going to like this a lot. You're going to like the variety. You're going to like the innovation. I liked everything about it. All right, so let's start off. There are a couple Nomoses up at the top there. The one on the left is the Aho, which has what's it called? The epsilon movement, and the one on the right has the alpha. Now the Orion on the right, these are older movements, and the alpha and uh, epsilon were reworked. Well, they were another type of movement that were reworked by Nomos, and so they became manufactured by Nomos. But then when they started the DUW line of movements, those were theirs from the beginning to the end. Now, another interesting watch that's in Bernd's collection is the Gauriot Finissimo. This was, I believe, an award-winning watch by Bulgari. It's the kind of watch I like. It's got the small seconds at 7 o'clock rather than the usual places, which are 9 and 3 and 6. And that gives it sort of a bit of a swagger to it that I like. Yet at the same time, it's very clean and simple. And you can see in the back the mini rotor that it has, and so you can really see a lot of the movement. They do have big plates, so you don't see a lot of it, but you can see more than it's covered by a giant rotor. Okay, moving right along. Now this next watch is called the MIH watch. It may be pronounced meh, I'm not sure, but it has a Lomania 7750. It's been modified by Ludwig Ossenslim, who's like super brilliant watch guy, and Paul Gerber, both a couple of really top-notch watch guys. Ludwig did this. I think he was the one who did a little moon phase right here on the on the band. He didn't want to mess up his the rest of the watch, so they added a moon phase. They just put it on here. By the way, this is my Christian Vanderklaw series 1974, and one of the reasons that I wanted to wear it today is today, Sunday the 13th, is a full moon, and so if you have a moon phase watch, a lot of times it's really good to set it at a full moon, but of course you got to be sure what the full moon looks like on your watch. So anyway, full moon day, happy full moon, all you werewolves out there. All right, these next two at the bottom, on the one on the left is a Ming. This is 1703, and then the one on the right is a Ming 19. The one on the left has the GMT in it. And it's running on a Sellita, Sellita 330-1. And then the ones on the right have the Ming 19 is running on a Ming movement called the 100.1. Now, Ming is a guy from Singapore, the Ming, and he's also a member of the independent watchmakers group, which only accept the very top watchmakers, different ages. In fact, Christian Vanderklaw was a guy who was used to be with him. Now he's retired. All right, let's go right along here. So far, these are three surprises, the MIH and the two Mings. Now, here we get to a really interesting one. I mean, one I didn't even know about. It's a Zenith El Primero 10th of a second with a 10-second Fourier, which is one of those things that goes around. They're really fast. And so looking at that, I didn't realize that Zenith had one, but the one that Bernd has is really very cool. Now, on the left, you've got another one that is a company that is just really has a lot of brilliant people in it. This is Ultron Jr. I probably said that wrong, but there it is. And this one has a Jade calendar, which is an annual calendar. This is the same company, and the same guy that worked at Ocean. I forgot how to pronounce it. He was the one who made an annual calendar with 9 parts. Unbelievable. I can't pronounce his name, but I never forgot that he made a perpetual calendar with 9 parts. It took Tech about 283, something like that. Okay, on the right there is an interesting one in one respect. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39, and what Bernd has said is that he got one of these for his high school graduation, but it was a smaller version that he got. And so later on, he got this one, and it's a good good office watch, daily driver kind of watch. It's a nice one. I like that one. Simple, clean. You can tell the time. All right. Now here we get it's sort of like taking the up escalator. Is a H Moser Cie. It's a beautiful one. It's a Venture Small Seconds XL. It's extra large. And it has what's called the Purity Cosmic Green dial, and those things are just gorgeous. It's a good size one, 43 millimeters. It's white gold. The movement is a 327. This is HMC, H Moser movement. And the thing about H Moser movements, they are so well done. They're just my Moser is wonderful. It's sort of, you get two things. You get this high accuracy, and then you get this hand done parts to it, the beveling and some of the other things that they do. Now this next one is a new one. It's a German watch called Renier Niaber. It's a dress watch. Dress watch is the name of it, so it was an easy one to figure out. And it has a Unita 6425. Now, when I first saw it, I thought, it looks like a 6498, 97, one of those. But when I said a 6425, probably a good deal smaller than the 6498 or 97. And when you see a watch with a 39 millimeter case, it's probably not going to be the 64, 98 or 97. And this is an interesting one. Again, it's one of these watches that there's no story making about what's in it. It's a cool looking watch, though. All right, next, holy smoke, this watch. When the Nomos Lambda first came out, this was really Nomos going into high horology, no doubt about it. This wasn't with a toe in the shallow end. It was like, this is what high horology looks like. The thing about this watch that I like the very best is this giant power reserve indicator. And 84 hours, and it's like dominant subdial, and then you have the time, hour and minute around the side, and then you have the small seconds down about, between about the 4 and 8, 4 and 8 on the bottom down there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love this watch, the Lambda. I don't see too many of them. In fact, I'm not sure how many I've seen in collections, but I really like it. Here's the movement to it. It's called a Caliber DUW 1001. And it has this sun ray kind of waves to it rather than the typical Geneva waves. Hand wound. Another good thing about it, 83 hours. Twin mainspring barrel, stop seconds, hand engraved, balance cock. I mean, these are really, this is a super watch. Edges are beveled, and then the watch is polished by hand. Yeah, I mean, this is like a super watch. Over there on the far right, you can see I included a close-up of the movement, the workmanship on that thing. It's just beautiful. Very cool watch. Okay, now, again, here's another Nomos. This one is called the Zurich World Time, but it's a Weltzeit GMT. The one that Bernd has is like they only made 150 of these. This is a prototype of it. On the back at 6 o'clock, you can see where it has CV11/CL. Well, CL is 150 in Roman numerals, and then the CV11 is 107. So this is the 107th of it. Wow! I mean, this thing is more fun. And again, when you see the DUW, you know that's a wholly in-house, nobody else's movement, and it's a cool world timer. I'm always looking for. I have a world timer sort of, but this one I really like a lot. Now this next one, these things just keep getting better and better. This is a Resence Type 1 Mr. Porter. And yeah, it's got an ETA movement in it, but that's not the point. The point is that the way this thing goes around and all of the different dials, this is like a super creative movement. I think it won a Grand Prix award. Some of these other ones, I think, won Grand Prix award for other things. But this Resence Type 1, now this is one that I've, like, you know, maybe if I see a good buy on one or something like that, I'll get it, because I really like it a lot. Of course, I like all of them. That's my problem. And the final one we've got here is a Swatch System51. Now, the Swatch System51 is a very innovative, very new thing. When it first came out, it was sort of touted, well, you can't get in here. It's sealed. Totally sealed. It'll give you good underwater work, but what happens if you need it repaired? You buy a new one. I think this is sort of interesting. You know, back when I was younger, much younger, I was in college and high school. I got an Accutron, but before that, I used to buy a Timex. I'd buy a Timex, those things kept perfect time and then broke. And so I just buy another one. And I think the same idea was behind the Swatch System51. They put in a movement that I guess was developed exclusively for Swatch, probably by ETA, who they own. They make good movements. And so they're going to put it in here, they're going to seal it up. Forgot there was a problem with it that somebody had. I mean, you could, I've seen examples where they take the back of those things off and they really tear the thing up. I guess that's what Swatch had in mind. You're not going to repair the thing. You have to buy a new one. Who knows? But it's an interesting watch. I mean, the System51 is a very interesting kind of movement. All right. Well, listen, Bernd has got like extremely good watches, high horology and in spades with both the Nomos and the even higher, so probably that Moser. That Moser would probably fit into exceptional horology, in my opinion, but that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. These are great watches. And plus all of these other ones, they're not your usual suspect. But on the other hand, there's no prejudice against, you know, some of the ones that you see more commonly, like the Rolex or the Zenith. And the Zenith is a mind blower. I can't even say it. The foot are wrong. The things just zoom around. Cool watch collection. How do you recommend a watch for a cool watch collection like this? Well, let me see. I don't remember seeing a regulator. That might be a good thing to have. An interesting watch, to me, one of the most interesting watches you don't see very much at all is Beauvais 1930 Fleurier, and the Fleurier has the bow and crown and so forth. These are tremendous buys right now. This one's in stainless steel. They didn't do too well because anything this difference doesn't do too well, but Beauvais is like, they have this other company they call Renier, and they do all of make the movements. In fact, last year's grand prize went to Beauvais for one of the things that they do. So you get these fabulous movements that are, you can tell how it was the case and the movement were built together. Everything fits beautifully. And this is a 7-day. So that, Beauvais you might want to take a look at. Because you have so many of the usual suspects. And the best part, there's no prejudice against some of the more, I guess in Germany, Nomos are pretty common, but not the Lambdas, so those aren't. And so that, you see, what else? Of course, I still think that Lang and Hein and Rolf Lang would be ones that you might like. It's hard to say what you'd like. Everyone thinks, oh, you want to get a really top-notch German watch, get a Lange. Yeah, those are good. But I think for the kind of creativeness in this collection, something like a Lang and Hein or a Rolf Lang would go really well to it. Well, listen, I said this is today, Sunday the 13th, is Moon Phase, is a full moon. So on your moon phase watches, check it out and see if there's something for you there, so you can set it so it's just right. All right. Well, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. And until next week, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.